How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm just going to be doing another kind of how-to video explaining what a unit bet is and why you should be using one. But before I do that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, hit that like button if this is content you are interested in. Keep following along with this channel. We are a week in, and we have already made $150 for anyone who has been following along with my bets. And we had some pretty bad luck, too. A couple bounces had gone our way, and we would be well into the thousands already. So follow along. It could be pretty profitable for you. We're doing so far so good. So today I just want to explain to you what a unit bet is, and it is not a complicated concept at all. Really, all that a unit bet means is you are betting the same amount on pretty much every bet. So whether you want to start at $1, whether you want to do $50 like we do for tracking the total on this channel, you just want to bet the same amount on every single bet. Not necessarily every single bet. Usually I will do about 95% if I'm trying to be conservative and make sure that I'm profiting, or I will do 68% of my bets if I'm just very kind of in a risky mood. Don't want to play it safe so much as I want to try and win big. So those numbers might seem arbitrary. They really are. They come from standard deviations on a bell curve, which any statisticians out there will understand, and also probably understand why that's still pretty arbitrary. But those are the numbers I go with. You can use any number you want in that kind of range, but you want to be focusing on using this unit bet as much as possible. The reason for that is essentially because you don't want to lose big. And this is, in my opinion, the unit bet is the most important concept in sports gambling, and that is because this is the number one way that people lose all of their money. You get people who start out high. They get a couple games right in a row, but as soon as they start winning, they're like, well, I've got more money now. I should bet more money. Never do that. That is why you lose big, because you won $50, and then you placed another bet, and you won $75, and then you placed another bigger bet, and you won $100. Then you placed another bigger bet, and you just lost all of it. You lost all of it because you kept escalating, and you got confident. You never want to do that. You want to treat every bet the same. You want to go in with an amount of money you are comfortable. If you are someone who has the money to afford a very large unit, you want to go with a $200 unit, that is fine, as long as you are consistent about it. If you're someone who doesn't really want to risk much money and you're just kind of doing this for fun, it is perfectly fine to go with a 50-cent or a $1 unit. That is where I started, and I've worked my way up. You gradually work your way up as soon as you start to realize that you are profitable. You don't want to get too caught up in your emotions when you are betting. Betting low on a cold streak and more on a hot streak is how you lose your profit. If you stop betting, if you go cold and you stop betting big amounts, you're not going to profit because you only put 50 cents when normally you put $20 on something. So you want to stick with your unit. I actually have a funny story about this. My friend and I both started gambling at right around the same time, and we started by placing almost all of the same bets. The only difference is that before I started, I had planned this out. I had never heard of a unit bet, but at the time, in my head, it seemed like a good idea to use the same amount of money on every bet. Later on, I found out that it is a real thing that most gamblers will use. But we'd go through and we'd do all the same bets, and we couldn't figure out at first why I was making money and he was losing money. And then we started to talk about it, and we were like, so what exactly are you betting on everything? And he was not using a unit. He was doing what every gambler does and to lose money. When he was on a winning streak, he would start upping his stake. And when he was on a cold streak, he would start lowering his stake. And that is why I was making money and he was losing, even though we were doing all of the same bets. So it's really not that complicated. That is all there is to a unit bet, but you absolutely should be using one, especially if you are new to sports gambling and don't necessarily know where to start. So that's all I've got for you today, but this is maybe the most important how-to video I will make. So go ahead, follow along with the channel. Like I've said, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you again in my next video.